And here we are, Season 16, Washington. We're right here on Solace Bay, and as you can see, I failed to squeeze the Earth roamer through here. I have to say the fuel capacity has been a great help scouting this region. Found a gas station here on Solace Bay. I'll give you kind of a reference here from Southern River National Park, which is the map you start on, so came up for here. I was able to drive past this one. This one you can kind of get past relatively easy. Requires 2 metal beams. This one, I really need to get... This one would make life so much easier because until you can clear this, your 2 routes are to go back here, and I'm guessing that this road will eventually bring you out on the other side of the rock slide, and then you can get to the gas station that way. Or you have this road, which kind of winds its way around here. Or you can go through town and come this way, which is the way I actually did. And I was very grateful for the Earth Roamer's big tank because I barely made it to this fuel station. I don't know if there's a fuel station on this map. I'm hoping that since up in the dark area is an entrance to another map, that there's another road section. But I went for this way hoping that there'd be a fuel tank here, a fuel station, and there isn't. I don't know if it's locked behind a cask. My preliminary observations is that the 2 things you need to be doing as soon as you can are maps and mud and on Rain's Trail, because this will open up a number of place contracts that give you crafting zones. Because I have yet to find where you can get metal beams, which means I can't fix this bridge, so I had to cross. Where did I cross? I had to cross right here and come this way. After driving this way, realizing the water's too deep for the GMC, which is what I was using to scout. And then we went this way. And you can get here, but there's a little roadblock here. This. And since I did this at night, I came down here, and I don't know if it was intended if you come up this way, or what I did is come up this way, or if you're supposed to follow the coast further and then come up right here. I don't know what was intended. Preliminarily, the only thing I know so far is that you need to deliver this trailer to the blockage, and where is that blockage? It's further on down the road. Right here. And I wish that was the only thing you had to do. But you also see where it is. Through the Eyes of the Scout may also be another one you want to do. It doesn't look interesting, but since it has concrete plant and logistics center, these could potentially lead to other places, I don't know, that give you supplies, so this potentially could be another one. And let's see, what other stuff? Oh, Muddy Route is how you unlock one of the 3 new trucks in the game, which I'm excited about. Let's see, that should be here. The Hilbert 1980. I'm glad we finally have a small truck that either uses NA or European engines and not Russian engines, so you don't have to go to Tamar for the engine unlocks, or use the fuel inefficient engine you get as an upgrade in the Yukon. So that's a good piece. I originally wanted to make this video not about that one, but let's see, what is it? Oh yeah, Here it is, where the road begins. So you need logs, and unfortunately, we don't have logs yet because I forget what's one that is. I think it's sawing against the grain. Yeah, you need to bring a sawmill here, and it says crafting zone, so I'm assuming that's where I'd be able to get the medium logs from for this job, but I'm not sure. And so this is just kind of blocked. I'd say that this blockage right here and this one right here, Western Landside, are the two blockages you absolutely need to clear as soon as possible to really make this region work. I hope there's a fuel station on the map. I mean, they've never done a map where you don't have a fuel station on the first map, so there probably is one, and I just haven't found it. I haven't looked at Map Runner because I just want to have fun exploring this, so I've been exploring this in the time I have. I was hoping that this road, after this watchtower, would actually drop down and lead to the gas station, but it didn't, so now my 5070, which I was going to use to recover the 440, another new truck you're getting in this DLC, and actually probably, from a practical standpoint, it's probably going to be the one I'm going to be most interested in using, even though I am excited about the Hilbert. Chimera is kind of eh. I've seen some test footage of it, but realistically, I'm not really excited. I'd probably rather use the FEM 37 AT, although this one may use engines that are easier to get and not involve Tamer, so that could potentially make it useful. So with all that out of the way, let's see if we can get the Earth Roamer and stuff. I suspect if I was in a smaller scout, like, say oh no. I think I was idling the whole time, and I burned the last fuel, and I'm too far away to get to the Earth Roamer, the top off the... Oh no, that's bad. I may have just messed up here. So let's see if I can get, because I'm wedged on this traffic sign is basically what's happening. What I probably should have done was try to jump the rail over the rocks instead of doing what I did, but yeah, I may have just caused a problem. Because that means every vehicle is either out of fuel or it's stuck. That's not great. Although I guess the good news is that scouts only cost $2,500 to recover, so yay, I guess. See if I can actually go backwards, because although I may have just perfectly wedged myself between the sign and this power pole to the point where that's not even passable, and that's going to be bad if that's the case. See if... Oh no, I'm so far forward I committed. Oh no. Oh, come on. Come on. Is this gonna... Okay, I wasn't expecting that to be... Maybe I was also pinned against the rock wall. That's probably part of the story here, and that's why this is actually working, because the side wasn't the problem, it was the rock wall. When I tried to pull from the left side, I was pulling here, and that made... Okay, let's see if it looks like there's some give. Let's see if we can now finally get some movement. Okay, it is the rock wall. Okay, that's good to know. So we'll just use that one to point. Okay, and let's see if we got forward. No. Oh, I need those trees up there. Okay, maybe. Let's try this. I could just get a little more... Come on. Come on. Let's try something. I want to see if I can just... That looked like a... Oh, come on. If we can just get past that sign, we're good. The plan was to potentially just pick up the back end with the crane and then set it down on the road. Was the idea I was toying with. But since I idled while I was talking, I basically ran myself out of the field. Good job, me. Which means I have to just... Oh, I hope I'm not getting caught on the hitbox of the mirror now. That would be the other... Okay. So yeah, this doesn't work. Okay, that looks like that... Oh, yes. We're past the mirror. And we're past that sign. So, it's just the rock wall, so maybe... And there... Oh, of course I'm gonna grab the leaf tree first. This shouldn't surprise me at this point, but it still does for some reason. Okay, we're out. And I would not recommend trying to get the earth roller through that. 260 liters. Plus... Plus the service kit with 160 makes this thing really great. And now, the question is that enough? That probably wouldn't be enough to go all the way around the long way. Maybe? This way? Maybe. I'm not convinced. It may just be a better idea to, you know, leave a little fuel in there, but we'll take 80 liters out, because I'm gonna go get the 5070. The good news is I do know where I can get cement. I don't know where I can get cement yet, but I do know that, where is it? Somewhere over here. I want to say it's, yeah, City Storage. City Storage has the consumables you need. So, but unfortunately, it looks like I haven't found where the cement is. However, when I was driving, it did look like there may be off in this way, but because I haven't explored, that's why I don't have map markers since I'm playing hard-world. So I probably should actually just drive down here, because this may actually be the place. And if that's the place, I could easily just grab it with the 5070. So, we'll see. And I think I'll just cut to when I refill the 5070 and I'll film it driving back down here and going to that place to see if that's where you can get cement from, because I don't know where cement is on this map either. I will say about the mud, there have been spots where this has gotten stuck. And it's not so much that this is super mud, it's more a fact of with certain vehicles, and it does occasionally get me into trouble. I like to use the unique off-road tires when what you really should be doing is switching to the generic mud tires, which would probably have gotten me through here without using the winch. And I have gotten in trouble for the same reason with the dairy special also. So, anyway. And we're back. Got into the 5070, and now we just need to go down and see if my suspicions are correct about where we can get some cement. made it to the road. Should be just a simple process of going, picking up and loading with the crane, delivering those consumables. I have to say I kind of have mixed feelings about the changes they've made starting with North Carolina as far as how long some roads stay blocked. I understand it, but it's something that's hard to get used to since the game originally launched with the idea you scout, then you clear the roadblocks and build the bridges, and then you go about the contracts. And changing that order just kind of feels a little off for me. I can kind of get used to it. Other thing is, not a fan of the eastern land side needing 2 metal beams. I feel that you shouldn't be spending time clearing roadblocks so I can figure 2 slots worth of cargo. Although I guess maybe there is something you're going to use a semi-trailer, in which case it would still be 1 trip. But since I'm not doing that, or not pulling the trailer, so it's still 1 trip, right? So I guess it isn't too bad, but that's just kind of how it feels to me. So, but anyway, this wasn't the first thing I intended to do. The first thing I wanted to do, this video was supposed to be me extracting the buddy, the PLAD 440, I believe. Not clearing this roadblock, but given where this fuel station is and that I don't know where another fuel station is, that's why I kind of decided that, hey, this would make a useful video and a fun video, and that's why we're doing it. Also, there were some points where the dairy struggled, but the mud wasn't too bad, and that's kind of nice to have a game where there's difficult terrain, but if you pick the right vehicle, like a military 8x8, you're going to do reasonably. And I do like that. So, anyway, enjoy finishing the contract, and thank you for watching.